Well, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, guys, so today's video is going to be a bit unusual. We are going to go over everything, including the current conditions, the upcoming pattern, and the tropics. It's probably going to be more short and sweet here. Again, I'm feeling very under the weather, and I think most people probably would just not be making a video right now. But I'm crazy, so here we are. We're doing it. I've only missed maybe once over the past 4 years, and I don't plan on doing it today. So it's going to be short and sweet. We do have precipitation down here in the Four Corner states, down through the south central United States. So there's a pocket of storminess down here. We could also see some showery activity here a little bit further north here for portions of Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota there. And then along kind of the mid-Atlantic and the southern New England regions, we do have this nor'easter, which once was named Ian, impacting the eastern United States as well. Let's just zoom into some different regions here. As you can see, we have plenty of storminess happening here for Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri there, Kansas, all of these areas dealing with some storminess around. As we can see down here for the south central and southwestern United States. I call it the southwest. It's not that far west, but it is kind of considered the southwest, I guess. Four corner states in general here, mostly New Mexico. We have heavier showers in some spots, yellows and oranges popping up, indicating more moderate precipitation, so keep that in mind. As we take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, there is some activity out here, but really we've quickly entered into a more fall-like climate here in the eastern United States, and that does include these regions. And we've gone from a very summer-like, extremely stormy patch in here that lasted for months and months and months to a much more temperate climate for these regions, and it has become a lot less tropical like it is in the summertime. So you've probably noticed that if you live down there, that things have changed quite a bit, especially with the precipitation. Here along the eastern United States, we have this nor'easter impacting these regions, mostly sending some of these showers kind of southward here. It is associated with some cooler air as well, as it sends these pockets of showers. The low is probably about right here, and it is sending the showers onshore. We're actually going to warm up and dry up over the next couple of days for these regions, though. So tomorrow, which is going to be Thursday, and then Friday as well, are going to be a bit warmer before another cold front comes through. But for now, we're going to be warming up from today forward. And it has been cool. It has been dreary, but things are going to change somewhat in the near pattern. Now, what we're going to do is move on. We'll take a look at the upcoming pattern primarily, also take a look at the tropics where there is some high chances of some development out. Now, here we are taking a look at the upcoming pattern. As we can see, this low, I think this is going to be one of the main things we're going to see here. This low is going to head out to sea, so we'll watch that occur there. As it kind of just moves off. We do see that next cold front already brewing. So again, tomorrow, which is around the frame we're taking a look at here, things will be warming along the eastern United States. But this cold front is already supercharged here and ready to blast down. So we are going to see another Arctic blast here in the near pattern. I might put in the thumbnail that there is a significant amount of snow expected out here and cool air in the long range pattern. So I don't know what I'll go with in the thumbnail. The eastern United States we'll be dealing with cooler conditions in the near future. And then as we look a little bit longer range, the west is going to be the more cold area with a lot of snowfall. So both being true, I don't know what I'll choose to go with the thumbnail. Usually I go with the more dominant feature, but they're about 50-50. So we will see. One way or another, I'm sure there will be comments like, why is this showing this when, the video says something else? Both are about 50-50 true. We're going to be going from cold in the east to cold in the west here over the course of the pattern. As you can see, it is very cool in the east here around this frame particularly, and very warm out west. But this is going to change really quickly. We do have a low up here, also another low up here. So we have some storminess going on in the east as well, and it's quite dry out west. It really is. But we are going to see this change, like I said. So as we continue on, we see something happen. Right around Monday the 10th is when we're going to see the switch happening, which is only 5 days from now. We're going to see this ridge transfer to the east, and that's going to basically set us into a negative PNA where I went too high with that, but we will see the cold air start to head into these regions as well, and the warm air is going to head into the east just like this. So kind of the opposite of the pattern we've been in is what is expected, and look at this low that comes through and really switches things up. Again, Monday the 10th, the low is moving into the northwest. And we get our first major snowstorm potentially here. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana by Tuesday, seeing significant snowfall here. We will take a look at the snowfall totals in a little bit. And this moves all the way down to where we see Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, Nevada, California, Oregon, and Washington seeing snowfall. So really, these areas seeing snowfall, really the Rockies and the Cascades, as well as the Sierra Nevadas. And look, it just keeps on going. We still have snowfall around here by Friday the 14th here. Plenty of snowfall for Montana, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming in here. And that is the end of the model run, so we don't really know what more we will see. But definitely seems like a significant snowstorm is very, very possible out west there. And we start to get a little bit more stormy here in the east as well, as you can see, as we have this feature here, potentially some nor'easter activity trying to take place. So definitely an interesting pattern change that we're going to be seeing from about the 10th through the 15th of October as of now. I have seen things like this switch and not really end up being this way, but a significant snowstorm seems very possible at the very least, and a big change in the pattern as well alongside that, which I think is well needed. It hasn't been very interesting because it's been the same thing happening over and over and over again, which is Arctic blast after Arctic blast in the eastern United States. Unlike anything I've ever seen. I really hope we get some of that in the wintertime because a lot of folks would get some snowfall that they've been wanting. But for now, we're going to take a break from it, it looks like, from the 10th to the 15th at least. Now, total precipitation through the next 10 days is pretty darn marginal, except for Idaho and Montana up there, which will be a wintry type of precipitation, so this is actually significant. If you're anywhere in the whites, we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your grays will be about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches, and then your reds will be 2 to 5 inches of precipitation. But I mean, if you look at one of our videos from maybe a week ago, you'd be able to see that this is a huge downgrade in the amount of precipitation we're seeing, which is another sign of heading very far into fall in a hurry. Total snowfall through the next 10 days, no surprise here. Potential blizzard-like conditions at times, and we get a significant amount of snowfall for not only the American Rockies here, but up through the Canadian Rockies as well, the Sierra Nevadas and the Cascades there, and all the mountainous regions in between for all these regions out west. So we see anywhere in the grays are expecting a dusting, if anything. Your blues will be 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Your purples will be 6 to 10. Or did I say blues? 2 to 6 in the blues. Purple 6 to 10. Pinks 10 to 20 there. And then you see those pastel blues going on in Idaho. That's going to be 20 to 30 inches of snowfall. And then kind of those purplish pastels for the Montana mountains are indicating 30 inches plus. I can tell you this much, somewhere in here, probably in Montana, we're seeing up to 48 inches of snowfall according to this model on the bottom right down here. You can see 48.2 inches is the maximum here, and I think that's in Montana, like I said, somewhere in there. So very interesting stuff here on the total snowfall. Definitely a significant major snowstorm at the very least, potentially a Rocky Mountain blizzard. Now, for the temperature pattern, we'll take a look at this, but there is going to be a huge flip as expected. Again, we have colder temperatures around for the eastern United States as it stands here today on Wednesday. As we head towards Thursday, we see a big-time warm-up here in the eastern United States, and this will last through a bit of Friday. Here's the high temperatures on Friday, so we see a lot of areas here. You can clearly see where the cold front is, just like this. And by the time we reach about Saturday, the weekend is going to be much colder for most of the eastern United States and north-central United States. The further north you go, the more noticeable this is, but definitely an Arctic blast has come through. And then by the time we reach Sunday, it's the same story here. A little bit further east, but we have this cold air kind of sitting around. And then we slowly warm up from that point where we get down to this type of a pattern, which is cold in the west, warm in the east. Again, that snowstorm happening out west. So again, the thumbnail, I don't know what I'll do. Could be cold in the east, could be cold in the west, but at times both are true in this upcoming pattern. Now, quickly, before we close things out, let's take a look at that 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. Now, here we are taking a look at it here. We do have Tropical Depression 12, or actually, is this officially a... Yeah, that is a depression here. So we have an 80% chance of development over the next 48 hours and 5 days here. Likely going to be a tropical storm at some point at least, but looks to be a fish storm heading mostly northwards, so that is the expectations with that one. Down here in the southern Caribbean, I need to refresh this for sure. Let's just do that real quickly. Yeah, I was wondering why it had the percentage of development there on Tropical Depression 12, so ignore me on that one, but probably going to end up being a tropical storm. We see down here, this one has a 60% chance of development over the next 48 hours, and then an 80% chance of development over the next 5 days. But it is expected to be suppressed there to the southern Caribbean. It has become much, much, much more suppressed to the south there. And the likelihood of this one curving northward towards the United States has dramatically decreased, thankfully. So at this point, we do expect development. We do not expect a United States impact, thankfully. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Again, I'm not feeling well. I do feel better than I did yesterday. So I'm hoping that I will feel better tomorrow than I did today. So videos should continue like normal. So be sure to subscribe for daily uploads. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. I will see you guys in the next video.